Judges, it's time to decide who had the best tattoo of the day.
Unless we're giving out participation awards, I don't think any of these tattoos slammed it out of the park.
Right now, it's hard for me to pick one that I think is like head and tails above.
Yeah, I mean,
all.
Is there like a complete shining moment, golden child here? I don't think so.
Are we all saying there's no tattoo of the day?
I can't single one out, so.
Yeah. The judges have decided there is no best tattoo of the day, so no one is safe.
Damn it.
Artists, today we threw you a painstaking test of detail, Asian tattoos.
A lot of big misses today. It's only getting harder from here on out.
Rich, let's start with you.
You got 2 dots for eyes. One nose that turns into an eyebrow that's so close to the eye, then the other eyebrow's all high up off the eye. The nose is crooked, the lips are not lined up. Where's the beauty in this face?
I don't really find the actual traditional faces beautiful at all.
Well, then in that case, bang up job, my friend.
I'm not a traditional Asian fan. A lot of Asian work, there really isn't much detail in the face at all. So I've tried to dumb it down.
It's insane. You say that they're not beautiful to you, but the simplicity is what makes these things so hard. If you're gonna do things that in your mind are simple, then you gotta do them right. You made yourself look bad with this.
Jason, were you feeling more comfortable going into this challenge?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is what I love to do.
My biggest problem with this tattoo is the body itself. It seems like there's no real structure. You can't tell where anatomically the limbs are really coming from.
As long as you have that nice flow to it, the human's mind will make up where that's going.
To me, that looks really strange. It looks like you drew the head, claw, and then some body. They don't go with that flow.
Jackie.
You got some detail on the face, but the rest of the tattoo is pretty messy and the tiger just gets lost.
I would have completely not done the background. There's no change between that and the tiger.
It was pulling teeth with this girl. She didn't want any kind of like shade work.
One's got to be darker, one's got to be lighter. It's just too similar.
Talking about the shape of that shoulder, the way you shaded it with those 3 weird ribs coming out of the ear and the first section of the face, it just looks like 3 bars. The anatomy of that is off.
Joey.
There's very few areas of this tattoo where you showed a lot of detail.
To me, detail's a lot of things. I definitely try to go in and show some fine lines in the hair, in the backside, and in the whiskers.
Your imagery in this has the Asian feel to it. As far as the application, it's completely photorealism.
If he wanted something traditional, I would have done it in a second, but he didn't.
You did a photorealistic mask on the guy's neck. I think it looks good.
Jimmy.
I like the fact that you did the body solid red. You didn't try to get too bendy with it. The background, I don't like at all. Those shapes look kind of like toothpaste.
My problem was I'm going off of this guy barking orders at me. It came down to what I could draw as fast as I could.
My main problem is that it doesn't fit the shape of his arms. If you're gonna do this big cloud background, that's your chance to make your image fit the body. And if your background elements don't fit to the body, what are they there for?
ES.
Man, oh man, this thing's got a lot of design flaws. You lost the shape of the tiger completely. Where the first paw leads up to the shoulder goes over the ear. Now the second lump coming around should be the neck, but the neck severs off the head and turns into another shoulder. Tigers can be really beautiful, but they can be really tricky. And you got out-tricked in this one completely.
Craig.
Love the drawing of the birds. A lot of use and nice detail on the feathers, but in the background, it's just a big area of muted color. This tattoo would have been way better with 0 background. Birds, branches, flowers, detail, nailed it, solid, done, you're the winner, congratulations, Craig. Instead, you spent hours worth of time doing stuff that's just unimpressive.
Kyle.
I think it's overall drawn well. I think you could have done a lot more internal detail in the jewelry. Extra line work and little stuff like that really makes a huge difference.
I came right up to the wire, and there's some things that didn't get completely finished.
You spent the bulk of your time saturating all that light blue in there, and if you would have just get all your outlines detailed in there before you color it, then you could get your detail challenge knocked out. A lot of these details were rushed.
Joshua.
I I hate the placement of this tattoo. This mask in the middle, looking to one side, half down in the butt crack with a little bit of water.
No business doing that much water on somebody if you don't know how to do it. I mean, this is an arthritic hand sticking out of the side of this guy's mask. You're way off. I'm not a fan of this one at all.
Tattoo baby.
No doubt you had a tattoo with a load of detail and the amount of time you had to cram it in there, but you gotta be kidding me with this lion. All I can think is, what the
I tried to do a 12-hour tattoo in 6 hours.
Even before you had the time crunch of tattooing it, the detail of a lion is not there.
I could draw that lion totally different, but I went with a lot more simple lion.
It kills this tattoo.
I just feel like you're not here. You're somewhere else. You gotta get your head in it, or you're gonna have to get out.
All right, guys, so we are doing Asian tattoos today. Detail was the focus.
Not very impressive.
We have Tattoo Baby. You guys were all pretty dark on this.
Here is a major percentage of this tattoo with this busted ass stuffed animal lion bull. This particular challenge is details. That's not the detail.
Next, we had Rich.
When you look at this face up close, anyone can tell that that nose is crooked.
He kept speaking resentfully of the subject matter, and he kept saying that he's got to dumb it down, dumb it down, dumb it down. Well, it's like success.
Jackie's is worse.
Yeah, this is a lack of understanding the actual foreground and the background you're trying to incorporate. I mean, the stripes never end in this tattoo.
Do you have a best of the day, Troy?
No.
Why don't we not give out the tattoo of the day?
Artists, you may be wondering why you've all been called back. The judges have decided that there is no best tattoo of the day.
I don't want to give out bad critiques. Don't waste my or your time.
This week, we had you create an eyeball tattoo using dimension to make it pop off the skin. Halo, let's start with you.
You know, you came out and you delivered pretty much what was asked for. You're one of the few artists that was able to do a couple of perfect circles. You captured some nice light sources. The shading's nice. You have some depth in it. You are definitely the guy that everybody's watching.
Thank you, guys.
Scott.
As far as the challenge of the eyeball, putting a lot of deep blacks in there to show this thing has dimension is very nice.
I like the darkness of this tattoo, and you did everything with a purpose. I think it's a good job.
Maddie.
The dimension that you put into the actual iris itself, there's some really nice moments in there. But this huge eyebrow on the underside of this lady's chin is drastic.
She wanted it right on her throat. She wanted to make a statement, she said, so.
It's a mechanically good tattoo. It's just nuts.
Melissa.
I'll go directly into tattooing 101. The circumference of the pupil should always match the outside circumference of your color area, which makes two perfect circles equidistant apart. Are we clear on that? If you look at your iris, it's a U going around your pupil, not a circle. No good. I know this is nerve-wracking, I know this is tough, but this is the game.
King Rock.
The blue, I'm not a fan at all. I hate black and gray tattoos with color in it. It makes it kind of cartoony.
She wanted that blue in there, so I had to put the blue in there.
It's a competition, and if you want the 100 grand, sometimes you just gotta be the boss.
Bubba.
You did some nice details in the corners of the eyes, get some depth in there so it does have a little bit of dimension, but the color inside the iris is pale and weak. The colors you used just don't have that natural look.
Jim.
I'm gonna be real with you. I just don't like the inside of the eye. The black part went too small.
From a distance, this is a black spot with a blue dot in the middle. There's nothing dynamic about this tattoo.
Lydia.
I like the way you use dark black, but you could have went a little smoother on the grays.
If you can't do these smooth, soft gray shades, you're gonna have problems in many other challenges coming up.
Keith.
The shading underneath the eye, that needs to be softer.
I want to make sure it's rich enough to hold the test of time.
But you created this bruised look underneath that eye. It looks like the person's beat up.
Jay.
I like the way you got the highlight in the eye, but some of the stuff you did was a little excessive.
You put way too much emphasis on these veins.
I did it exactly the way it was in the photo.
But the big thing that kills the dimension is the black stripe across the top, because it has a hard edge. It doesn't fade off. It looks like it's just cut and pasted there.
David.
First off, I want you to take your hand and cover up that flame and tell me you would not have been better off leaving that off of there. Why did you stop?
She was done. She just wanted to get the out of there.
You are a banger. You get in there and you're like, wah, 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 wah. You're gonna have to have these canvases last 6 hours, because if you give us an unfinished tattoo, that will whip you straight out of here.
Sausage.
You're one of the only artists that has shown us smooth, soft shading, and that really helps give this eyeball dimension.
Thank you.
But those waves are the worst things on the planet.
I was working with what he had already on his skin, trying to make it so that it didn't just seem like an eye in the middle of nowhere.
Beautiful work got shadowed, literally, by waves, finger waves.
Kyle.
You might have won this challenge if you would have just kept it simple. You obviously have a great imagination, but the challenge wasn't imagination here, it was just realism and depth.
My head was up my ass. I mean, I'm telling myself, I'm gonna simplify everything. That's not simple.
Think back all those bad choices you made and do not do it again.
What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing twice, expecting different results.
Bam. Don't be insane.
Randy.
The top eyelid looks a little misshapen. The bottom lid kind of looks a little sagging, almost like the flies on like a little piece of beef jerky.
I used an actual photograph.
A lot of the black and gray in this thing is very beat and very red, and the tattoo looks painful. You turned in one of the roughest tattoos of the day by far.
Roland.
This tattoo's bad, dude.
He asked for an eyeball of his father. He wanted it not to be a pretty eyeball. His dad's kind of old.
Is there a good outline? No. Is there any smooth shading? Nope. Is there dimension? Hell no. This is not it, man.
Ashley.
I can't take it anymore. I got nothing left. And you can say whatever you want to say. You can be as mean as you want. I can take it. Just because I'm crying, it's no big deal. I'm a girl. This is what I do. I cry.
But this isn't about being mean.
I just already know what you're going to say.
You do?
Yeah.
Have you seen this competition before?
Yes, I know what I was in for, and I guess I just didn't put it into consideration.
It's a high-pressure, high-stress environment.
This pressure ain't to a tattoo. You sit there and do stuff on someone they're gonna carry their whole lives. If you get hammered, then take it as positive. You're gonna learn and you're gonna get better.
I don't want to do this anymore. I cannot stress that enough. I knew what I was coming in for.
What were you thinking when you came here?
Just get over it. Don't be such an attention whore. Let's move
Okay,
on.
this is why the
I'm serious.
argument
Get
the
on
other day.
with it.
I'm out of here. You're so cool, Kyle.
Every time we're up there, you start crying and everybody's
Because
gotta
I
look at you.
don't want to
Calm
be
the down. Shut the up. Let's get on with it.
Clearly, we're gonna have to figure this thing out, right? So head on back to the loft and we'll call you back. Dimension challenge, everybody did an eyeball tattoo, but guess what? Ashley has officially quit. She's gone.
I think she just melted down.
All she was focusing on was failure.
Is there a top 3?
I just don't feel like there's anything that deserves best tattoo of the day.
See, that's the thing, is we have best tattoo of the day to give away to one of these
I think
artists.
we dropped that. We're not just gonna give the best if there's not really something that deserves it.
Artists, today we tested your ability to use dimension. In light of today's work, the judges have decided there will be no best tattoo of the day.
All these tattoos that we saw today is not up to par. And a lot of you got hammered a lot harder on nicer tattoos. Well, there's a reason for that. We want to push you to do even better every time. These critiques are not designed to just beat you down. They're designed to help you and give you hints further in this competition. You're here to compete, take your lumps, and keep moving.
Today, you had to tattoo the ultimate test of precision. a portrait. Chris, you went head-to-head with Aaron.
My big problem with this tattoo is you made up a bunch of highlights that don't exist in the photo. On her neck, underneath her chin, you just made up a complete white highlight that doesn't exist. It really does change the shape of this girl's face a lot. And then you really went graphic with it. You exaggerated the lines in her creases in her mouth. In the photo, she looks real soft and round, and you put a lot of hard edges on her that hurt you on Precision Day.
Aaron.
I think the first thing that I notice on this is that droopy eye. On the right, it sags a little bit. I think that throws things completely off.
Another place that the precision is not there is in that mouth. Those lips are not her lips. And then the really dark you did in the gums, it makes it almost look like she's missing teeth. Translation from the photo to the skin is where the precision has to be 100%. And a portrait is very unforgiving.
Portrait King just got decrowned.
All right, guys, so who wins the head-to-head competition between Chris and Aaron?
This is kind of a tough one for me. Chris, I think that yours is actually over-precise. The hard lines kind of take away from any softness that a portrait might have.
Aaron's looks more like a little girl to me.
I literally find enough things in both that are bad that I don't have a clear winner or a clear loser.
Just judge each section. Just judge the mouth.
Chris got it. Chris got it.
Now just judge the eyes.
Debatable.
Just judge the hair now.
Aaron.
Aaron got it.
Just judge the chin.
Chris got it.
Chris got it.
Now just judge the cheeks.
Aaron got it. Guys, I'm out. I'm not picking a winner.
Flip a coin.
We don't flip coins on this
Okay,
thing.
no, I'm just saying, man.
The fairest thing that I can say to both of you is that I don't see either one being a landslide to the plus or the minus.
I agree with that.
All right, for this head-to-head challenge, there is no winner. Today, you had to show dimension by creating stonework tattoos. Let's see how you did. Team DJ, you're up. Deanna.
It looks like stone or rock. I love the minimalist take on this and letting it breathe on her skin and be legible.
The best part of this tattoo is the rich black cast shadow on the neck. For dimension, that's what you're missing. If you have more of that carries up, it looks a lot stronger. However, you do a beautiful tattoo for yourself here. This is one of the better ones I've seen you do.
Thank you.
Josh.
This thing is really hard to tell what's going on. The carved out figure could have been a little bit more legible. The chakras that are floating in there get a little muted.
He's the only one that did an actual rock for the rock challenge.
It's just what this piece really is up for grabs.
Frank.
I don't like this. The monkey's flat, then the monkey's sitting on a plate that's flat.
The bottom, underneath the monkey where the stone breaks, it doesn't really look like that's dimensionally going back. It just looks like it's wrinkly or melting. The last thing that you think about is dimension when you look at this thing.
Team Steve, you're up. Fame.
Doesn't really have the look of something big and strong, like a big statue. It looks like a paperweight.
If you look at the line work all the way up the back ridge of the wings, it's light, it's sketchy, it's not set in deep. You've won twice and you've lost big twice. This doesn't look like the style of tattooing when you got the win.
Jeremy.
It doesn't really have a lot of depth to it. You need to lighten up that tombstone so that these darker things sit back.
I wanted it to look like one solid statue rather than just a tombstone with a statue behind it.
Then that was your poor choice on Dimension Day. What we're looking for is you to be able to trick the eye into thinking that some areas of your tattoo are further back and some areas are further forward. That's what you needed to hit today.
Rolly.
It doesn't have a stone-cut feel.
The eyes get away from you. They're pretty wobbly in there.
The beard and the hair on these look like they could be the same way that you guys would do them if they were on natural things. Tattoos with cracks and a little bit of texture is not making stone.
Team Anthony, you're up. 1. I like the image. You certainly hit a lot of the stonework, especially with all the cracks in the filigree and the broken away parts of the arch.
What happened to her eye?
Which one?
The one that up. Actually, never mind. They're both jacked.
It's a really small head, so I try to get all the detail possible.
You would have been better off just shading over that whole half of that face instead of having this big, crazy, winky eye thing.
Amanda.
It seems unfinished. There's nothing really, really bold about it.
The eyes need to be really deep set. If this ear and this cheek is this black, then this corner of the eye has to be really black. The upper side of the lip could be much darker. It's nervous looking. I want it to just be still and stoic and strong.
Jason.
Everywhere in this lion, it's all blended so smooth that this guy looks like rubber. It's just a bunch of blobby, shaded
Well, I mean,
areas.
it is a statue.
It's not hitting dimension because the way that the archway comes into the eyes, you now put it back on the same plane. Your background becomes your foreground in essence. Your design's confused.
Mike.
I don't think that anybody's gonna think that this is stone. Everything's all shaded in and it's just not consistent. It's not precise.
Just this floating black nose with no ridge bone connection, no muzzle, no whiskers. I don't care if you can't make a stone piece of armor. I care that a wolf looks like a wolf.
All right, guys, time to determine who had the best tattoo of the day.
You would think one would stand out, but there's not one that I don't have problems with.
I think that you can take one of Josh's rocks that are balancing on the top, and it beats the whole crew.
That's ludicrous, man. Come on.
What do you say, no best tattoo of the day?
I'll second that.
Yeah, that's my vote, too. The judges have decided there is no best tattoo of the day. Today, the artist had to survive a tattoo marathon.
This is the most nervous I think I've been so far.
The time limit, man.
Today just shows what you can do under the most pressure in the least amount of time.
Not great.
Let's see how they did.
I feel like I'm about to throw up.
First up is Danny's illustrative black and gray design. Very simple. You got circles, you got lines. Let's take a look at the first tattoo.
That's mine.
There's problems on this thing. It's not a perfect circle at the top. The exterior line goes flat.
The soft shading looks really nice, but the solid black areas don't look super solid.
I'm willing to say that I don't think Danny tattooed this.
This is technically the most difficult one to pull off.
Let's look at the next one.
Oh, it's mine. I like the way the top of the key shaded.
And the areas that are circles appear more circular.
But the way they leave the pupil of the eye white, very strange.
That was an artistic choice.
Let's move on to the third tattoo.
That's mine.
Look at the way the eyes shaded, way better than the last one. The shading in the top of the key, way smoother. I think this is Danny's.
We'll see.
Let's move on to the fourth one.
This perfect hollow, round, negative space all the way around the circle of the key doesn't give any dimension.
It's just a bunch of light gray that doesn't get super smooth.
Ooh.
Let's look at all four of the same tattoo together.
Number 3 is the best one, I would say.
Yeah, number 3.
Now I'm ready to be the bottom of all the rest.
If you're gonna win any of them, it's best to win on your own.
Yeah, I think so too.
Next up is Jason's new school design.
It leaves a lot open to see what people do.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get into the first tattoo.
Oh, that's mine.
I mean, good application, but if you're gonna hit new school, you can't just have green and light green. You gotta have a contrasting color.
Because I had plenty of time to do that.
Let's move on to the second tattoo.
Oh, it's mine.
What happened to this one? This thing just looks dirty.
Why does that yellow stop and go to open skin in the mouth when the eyes are solid green inside?
I didn't have enough time.
Moving along.
That one's mine.
From a distance, the color glow looks cool, but that mouth, not clean saturation at all.
Do you think this is a time issue? Like they spent all their time trying to outline these things and then couldn't finish the color?
Talk about dropping the ball on that one, Jason.
Let's look at the fourth one. Let's see if there's a redeeming one in here.
Good luck, dude. Here we go.
The outline on this one is rough everywhere in the teeth. The mouth of this thing got away from everybody.
That's crazy.
Nothing connects anywhere.
Not good.
That's a lot of work to do in that amount of time.
Sorry, everybody.
Let's take a look at all four of these tattoos together.
Tattoo number 1's looking better all of a
That
sudden.
thing looks amazing right now. 2, 3, and 4, to me, they're all in the same boat. This whole round right here are not good.
Damn, my design everybody up.
Let's take a look at Laura's new school design.
Definitely leaves some interpretation to be done with this line drawing, for sure.
Let's take a look at the first tattoo.
Oh, that's mine.
If you look at the outlines on the tips of the mohawk, look at the points, look at the wobbly lines.
Somebody was in a hurry.
You think?
Let's look at the next one.
Oh, that's mine.
Everything has a nice balance between the green, the magenta, the purple. I like the light source on the brow. This is a well-executed
Night and
tattoo.
day from what we just saw.
Third tattoo.
There's a lot of line discrepancies in this big, bold outline on the mohawk. There's not really a lot of saturated black inside the divots or the darker areas on the side of the skull. The blue's not really standing out properly.
I still like my tattoo.
Let's move on to the fourth tattoo.
There's a lot of problems connecting the tips of all of the points to the mohawk. This mohawk detail on this thing is killing everybody. They need to paint the mohawk one solid color instead of trying to do fades and do all this stuff. It eats the clock.
Let's look at all 4 of the same tattoos.
Number 1 is the bottom.
Number 2 for me, all around, is the top.
You won over my design again.
Next up is Jake's color neo-traditional design. Lucky dragon's foot, Chris.
I like the posture of the claws.
Let's look at the first tattoo.
Simple color palette is nice. The line work looks smooth. Make it clean and simple. I think that's a smart move. Overall, pretty sharp.
Let's move on to the second tattoo.
Oh, that's mine. I don't like this one too much. It gets a little muddy. There's also a lot of outline problems on this thing.
Opted to not put in those rope lines.
It would have helped because the unparalleled lines stand out like a sore thumb.
Let's take a look at the third one.
Here we go.
It's a smart color play to have a contrasting color from the top to the bottom, and then a different color for the rope to intertwine so nothing gets lost.
It is more legible than the one we just saw.
Let's look at the fourth one.
In that fitting where the claw's going into, that black with that yellow pounded over it with then that white looks messy. That does not look clean. That isn't doing anybody any favors here.
Jason does not feel good right now.
Let's compare all 4 of these.
Well, the ones with the right color palette look the strongest, like number 1.
I'm gonna say that Jake did the first one, just because...
That's the one that looks like the person that knew what they were doing?
Exactly. This week, you had to survive a tattoo marathon. While each of you had high points in the marathon, all of you also had low points. However, in this competition, you must always be at the top of your game. Based on your work, no one is safe.
This is gonna be interesting. Art is the equalizer in this because you guys are a dead heat. There's no one person in the room that's like, boom, yeah, they locked it in. At this point, everybody needs to excel to prove who is actually gonna earn the spot.
Here.
Today, you are being tested on composition, tattooing Japanese cranes. Let's see how you did. Midwest, let's start with you. I'm terrified. Jarrell.
The question here for me on composition is that an ant pile? Because the size relationship from that mountain to that sun to the whitecap and the bird, there's serious issues with depth. The sun can't be bigger than anything on the whole tattoo that's in the back.
Is that a wind, that scoop that comes back?
I was trying to show off some wind, just to break up the elements.
You have water, you have wind, you have clouds, and tonally, they're all exactly the same. And it's just a lot to take in. Yeah.
There's not a harmony going on with anything in here. The clouds don't really match the water. The water's dramatic, the clouds are bubbly and loose. Today, this did not fly for you.
It's rough, man.
Kelly.
Your tail feathers in this tattoo are beautiful. They're shaded beautifully, but these drawings are weird. Your bird is like a pterodactyl. You have a massive head with a very small body. And when you gnarl up their beaks and gnarl up their heads, you create more of a dinosaur look. The idea here was style and grace. This doesn't hit that look.
Thanks.
East, you're next. Jimmy? I actually like this tattoo. It's simple and legible, but that back leg coming out and over the wing, anatomically, it's a little strange.
I just wanted to show more of the leg.
You put a gray cloud next to a gray shaded section of the wing, it looks like that's part of the bird.
It just looks like a third row of feathers. The cloud's not doing anything except disrupting your flow. Composition there is very strange.
That was the nicest one out there.
West, you're up. Angel.
The solid red in the sun is very saturated. There's also some nice soft gray areas. But as far as composition goes, the way the black clouds just bubble on one side and then bubble at the bottom, it doesn't create a flow. It doesn't create something dynamic to make the piece more legible.
What is up with that wing? How many directions can those feathers flow?
You're talking about the right one or the left one?
The one in front that has feathers going this way and that way and this way and that way. I mean, it's your focal point. It's the biggest thing in your tattoo is the wing that's staring at me in the face that's completely drawn wrong. That's not what a wing looks like in any bird.
That was rough.
Damn. Bob.
As far as the drawing goes of the two birds, the illustration, the line drawing, I like it. But the way you color this in the bottom pretty much ruins it for me. This murky, muddy, dark green kills this thing.
I did have problems putting that one color into the skin.
The way you end the tattoo is beautiful. How solid that blue is your biggest problem in the tattoo because that bright blue outdoes everything. Great drawing today, but you had technical problems.
All right, guys, time to determine who had the best tattoo of the day.
It's a hard day, man.
I think that Bob had the greatest composition on paper, and I think he lost it in the application.
We gotta call it like it is. I don't have a tattoo of the day. Wow. I'm sorry, but I don't see it.
I'm comfortable with not awarding a win.
To me, everybody's in the bottom today.
The judges have decided there is no best tattoo of the day.
Today, you had to prove your adaptability, creating a wraparound tattoo that looks great from every angle. Let's see how you did. Jazzy, you're up first.
I like how you took into consideration your last tattoo and you left that whole rose open. It worked.
That was tough.
But that one flower kills me. It's like you forgot to slice the rest of the pizza, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that was last minute.
You got screwed on time because you gave yourself so much to render.
Sydney.
I love the design, but you have to center the cleavage and make sure that that lines up with the face. And if she has a tattoo there already that's already off, that's really hard to look at.
You should have got her to stay away from her neck because the things we like about it are your style. But everything else about it, it just makes me stressed out. Freddie, the body of that octopus is beautiful. Those tentacles, that's where I go, oh.
That spirally tentacle up in the ditch, that one gets me.
It looks like a mistake.
The only reason I put it there was literally just to elongate it a bit.
You didn't have enough time to render it out completely.
Jenna.
I think this tattoo is beautiful. You can tell that this is what you do and this is your strengths.
Where this falls short for me is a lot of your outlines are darker than your solid black. And if you're filling something in solid black, you don't want to see the outline, you want it to just be solid black. You didn't quite hit the mark.
John.
When you get close on this black, there is a little bit of saturation issues. You were going so fast with this big mag
And the
red.
But I'm actually stoked because you used artistry and actually created silhouettes that make you think of what an anatomical skull would really look like. Very cool.
David.
I love the overall shape. Like, I love how at the end it intertwines with the neck and then the tail comes in front. But the tongue, it looks like you stopped it and then you added another line and they didn't meet up all the way.
Could have completely left that tongue out.
But overall, man, it's a cool design.
Charlene.
I love all the line work in the mushrooms. I love the different textures that you used, but it looks like two different tattoos that are disconnected. If you would have repeated those little mushrooms instead of the trees, it wouldn't look like she went to another artist to have a band wrapped around it.
Brian.
When you look at the house and the angel in front of it, it's all the same tone. And it's those areas you have to figure out how to completely pull things away from each other. And it's all a matter of tonality. Dark against light, but I don't think you fully committed to super saturated, solid black in the areas that you should have.
That was Coral.
You do have this nice focal point, the eye. It's like where you spent all your time. But then if you just see the back of his arm, it's just really sporadic and all over the place. And technically, there's not too many solid areas of black, colors patchy. For me, it's kind of a chaotic mess.
Smartness. Bobby.
I like the heavy, bold black. It has weight to the front. Obviously, there's hiccups. The peaks of the beetle's head, they aren't perfectly like sharp.
The two loops on the front of this chest, one of them is solid black and one of them has a line right over it. Team DJ got a little big for their britches this week, and I think you guys had your ass handed to you.
Judges, it's time to decide who had the best tattoo of the day.
Unless we're giving out participation awards, I don't think any of these tattoos slammed it out of the park.
Right now, it's hard for me to pick one that I think is like head and tails above.
Yeah, I mean,
all.
Is there like a complete shining moment, golden child here? I don't think so.
Are we all saying there's no tattoo of the day?
I can't single one out, so.
Yeah.
The judges have decided there is no best tattoo of the day, so no one is safe.
Damn it.